Okay, 17-10, good luck. We get white for this. So knight f3 as per usual. Opponent, 665 games in the rapid. So it's this Black Mustang opening again. We've got that a bit recently. Played d4. We're not far off 1400 games now. So what do I want to do? I think takes is fine. Takes is fine. Pushing up is fine. How sharp do you want to be? Let's push up. We are the first one to take if he pushes, so I think it's fine for us to take, but let's just see what he chooses to do. Down is common move. You can also move your knight, of course. And he has moved his knight, so I think we just want to take there, right? Is there some trick? Takes here, pawn down, I'm not sure. I don't want to just directly take the pawn. I want to get rid of the knight, so we'll take it. And I think we just want to collect the pawn. And because we've gained a pawn, we can always give another pawn back. And we're no worse off. So he's played forward to attack it. So we just want to make sure we can castle. I'm going to still play to put the bishop on g2, like you see in lots and lots of my games. Then hopefully we can bring the knight across to f3 at some point. Hopefully. He's played bishop up, so he just wants to castle. That might allow us to play bishop up here, pin the knight, trade everything off and break the pawn structure. I like the look of that actually. Let's go here. Because we're threatening takes, and shatter the structure, and we've gained a pawn. The queen's come off. It gives us a little bit of better chance to actually keep the pawn, slightly better. So it's got to be right to do it, right? So takes. He could just take the pawn immediately. But if he goes to the pawn, he's threatening this, but it feels all right. It feels all right. I'm going to take... He's gone with the queen, so I'm going to take there. Okay, so if he goes here, I can simply play c3. So I like the idea just to develop the bishop, prepare castling. I've got pawn up if needed. We're guarding our extra pawn now. Again, his pawn structure is shattered here, but there's no queen on, so the flip side is it's harder to actually go for a strong attack, of course. Oh, he's happy to trade there. So that means we've basically kept our extra pawn, unless he gets some sort of big attack in. But I just want to get castled. Now that's done, we now want to get our knight forward somehow, somewhere. I think I probably need to push here. I don't see anything better. And it helps to deal with this potential move, but I'm still going to get my knight up, ideally to f3 if I can. And then this pawn is loose as well, so maybe e3. e4 could be a move followed by f3, I guess. Let's just see what black chooses to do. He could take the knight. I don't think he will, but he could. Excuse me. It's still allergy season for me here, but thankfully we're not too far off the end of it now for another year. Probably wants to just develop his rooks. Just develop the rooks, try and get them into the center of the board. That's what we're going to try and do, but we need a couple of moves to get our knight across if we can. Now he's gone there kind of forcing the issue slightly with our pawn here. So we can't go up 2 now unless we just choosing to give the pawn back. But if I go here and he comes in, there we go here and attack the bishop. If he comes to either, we can counter it again and it looks fine. So I'm just going to push the pawn to try and keep it. I've just got to somehow get this knight in here or here. But if I go here, he could try and do the same thing with us. It could still be in computer language, just completely level. It could be. But we are a pawn up, so that's obviously +1, other things equal. But what I'd like is knight here, knight to f3, or knight here. So he's gone here. I'm not quite sure what he's trying to achieve there. So I think knight across is a move now. And if he goes here, just across looks fine. And then the knight can maybe even jump forward. So it looks like a move. Okay, he's played across quickly there, but he's stopping us from going here. That might have been the purpose. We can go here or here, but then this is loose if we push f3. I'm not sure here. I could go here. The bishop protects the knight, so we can go here and he can simply drop back. But then what? I might have to play a move like f3, but then I'll weaken this. So what about this then? Just simply back. I'm actually going to play, well, if I play bishop over, is there a chance of a discovery on our knight? There is actually, isn't there? That's dangerous, dangerous. What about knight here to go here? I guess you can cut it off. Knight here I like the look of, but where am I going to go? See, just drops back. So what about knight here then? I'm really not sure here, but I want to try and bring a rook across. It's just figuring out how we manage to do that. Here, it could even potentially push at some point. I don't know quite what to do. Here. I'd like to go here, but there might be some sort of trick. Okay, I'm not sure. Now let's be cautious. Let's just bring the knight to f3 where we were heading for in the first place. At least it gives me a potential option to play rook across if his bishop moves. But ideally, I'd like the bishop there rather than the knight to challenge his bishop. But rook across at least is a potential move now, unless we jump out the way. We've always got h4 if we need it. Then probably play h3 just to challenge this bishop. Gives the king a second square. Could be quite difficult. This if he manages to keep both bishops on the board, it could be very tricky for us further down the line. Could be difficult. Oh wait, he's made a move. I nearly didn't hear that. There's my audio. Good. I'll turn it up a bit. I didn't hear that there. You can see my clock ticking now though. So I like rook across and then maybe just rook here. Let's do that quickly and then go here. Then it's there from the bishop, and if the bishop moves otherwise, we can just take the rook, I think. Or we can even come up here and attack the bishop. Just hope I don't blunder some sort of tactics, but two bishops can be very powerful in the right situations, of course. h5, then I can play this and he'd have to get off this diagonal and drop back. So he's just dropped back, so we could potentially take the rook. I don't have to, so I like the idea just to hit the bishop and see what he's going to do. If he takes us, we're safe to take back. If he takes, we're safe to take back. If he drops back, we can maybe push on. Or we can even trade the rook, maybe knight over, but then we're conceding the open d file. Dangerous. I guess I can just play rook to d4 as well. I could do, couldn't I? Well, that allows knight to d4 now. It might undouble his pawns, but if it gets rid of the bishop. So here, if he takes, we can just play rook across. And we should get here, right? And if he comes this way, we can always knight check here. Okay, let's play here and hit the bishop. If he takes, I don't think we're going to get him trapped. I think we just play rook straight across and try and go here. And if he comes here at the end, there's another pawn. If we take here, it undoubles the pawns, but we're still a pawn up. And it gets rid of the bishop pair, so that could be worth it. So he might tempt us into doing that, and I think we might do it. It is opposite coloured bishop sentinel, so it's still tricky. Could be very difficult to win, even a pawn up. But a pawn's still a pawn. So he's played forward to attack the rook, so we've only really got one move there. I do potentially have a knight check if needed. Again, if he takes, I'm still planning on going here. The bishop isn't going to attack the rook in a hurry. But if this knight moves, we could potentially concede the open file. So it could be dangerous if we end up here. Where else are we going to go? I mean, we can support the knight, but tricky. So I guess that's what he's looking at here, and then what? Drop the bishop back somewhere, we take here. So he's gone back, so there's no check. But that does give me a chance to kick the bishop and march forward, maybe. Let's do that quickly. And then we've got the option to trade the bishop if he goes this way. He could go here, and then we can come back anyhow. So here, do we do that? Just what I'm trying to figure out. Probably, but I'm not sure. I don't see a tactic. There might be one, I just don't see it. So I'm also looking at, is there any tactic if we take here? I don't think there is. Takes, but I think we probably should take here. Maybe just bishop up and just say we've got the extra pawn. It might be a mistake, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to try and play bishop up or rook up and double my rooks up. I assume he's going to undouble his pawn. He could go with the rook and then his bishop still protects his other rook. But if he goes with a rook, I think we're fine to take and then just rook across. If he goes with a pawn and we trade, he gets the open file. That's a bit more problematic. I guess we'd still have rook e2 and we're fine, but but otherwise here, I'm just intending bishop here and then king up. Or I could play rook here and try and double the rooks up. Maybe you've got this. You probably have actually, you probably have. So bishop here. So let's play that quickly so we don't waste time. We're trying to put our opponent under a little bit of time pressure if we can. So I'll just pre-move in case he takes the rook there, but you don't really need to pre-move being rapid. Actually, let's cancel that. Don't need to pre-move with it being rapid and 5 minutes on the clock. I could even maybe run my king this way to the center, I guess. Then it just takes a little bit of risk off his rook infiltrating if the file gets fully open. And hope we don't blunder some tactics around here, smashing our side open. What else have we got though? What else have we got? He's attacked our pawn. Ooh, he's attacked the pawn. I missed that move. That's a good move. Now, I could go here, but then they're on dark squares. But I don't think I've got anything else, have I? There's no point pushing, giving up the exchange. So I think it's... I don't need to think much there, because it's really the only move I've got. So in turn, I can go here as well. It puts them on dark squares, so they're a target. But I didn't really have anything else to do. Again, he can drop his bishop back. He can take the rook. I'll just take back if he takes the rook. Then maybe run the king towards the center. I'm not sure. Probably want to be in the center rather than here now. But if I go here again, is there a problem here? Possibly. Now, can I take this chance to go forward? If he takes, we can take multiple ways. So here, the potential issue is pawn down. I don't think we want to concede the file. There's no really good way to come back apart from where we are. So I don't like the look of that. So I'm going to try and bring the king here. And then I'm supporting all the squares. Just hope I don't collapse this to some nice tactic like a pawn storm coming down. Actually, that's the point. Once I'm here, it's difficult to take this way. Difficult, tricky. I guess I've got bishop here as well to attack his rook. Or bishop here. Let's see what he does. Yeah, we could have just gone there in one move. We might still end up going there. Okay, he's come forward to attack our pawn again. Ooh, that might be a bit problematic now, actually. I might give up the exchange here. I'm just thinking if I push there, he's got this. Now, I can obviously take a rook and he can take back. I can then go here. But then he's got the rook down. Yeah, this is why I was trying to head here, but he's a move ahead of us. So do we give up the exchange? I don't think it quite works for us. So here, he can come in, trade, rook across. We're half holding on. Rook down, pawn up. I'm not sure here. I think I have to just push there and hope for the best. So here, I'm going to have to take and then rook across, I think. But these feel really loose now. Yeah, he's playing really well. He's doing well. So he's played it. So we're going to have to take. We're going to have to come across. Then what can we do? Can we just push and try and open up the scope for our bishop? We're probably going this way now for our king. Just whether all these collapse if he comes in. So do I just sack this and push? But then he gets the outer pawn. If he takes, we take. He can push. I mean, I can go here for a move. If he goes here, we're very happy to trade. So I guess there's no harm in going here. Might be wrong, might be wrong. He's doing well. Yeah, I probably should have just took my king here, and then it's out the way of all the checks. It's not doing anything this way now, is it? I'm not going to get here now. So he's pushed forward, but I don't mind that move. So So can I just push here now? And if he pushes, we can take. And if he takes, we open things up. Gets it on a light square, why not? But it could be really hard to win this because we've got the opposite bishops. If the rooks come off, even though we're a pawn up, it could be real tricky. But now he's got his own issues to deal with. So if he takes, could I even be crazy and take with a rook? Have the split pawns and then we're immediately attacking. Now he's played across. I think we just want to take. If he takes us first, we take back and protect. But if he takes here, we can just push on. So have we been a little bit fortunate here? We've got a second pawn. We've got a file for our own rook now. King looks safe, although if I go there now, he's got bishop here for a double attack. But I think my rook can get forward now. We can go here potentially. He's down to a minute. Obviously, if I go here now, he's still got here. Takes and takes. So he's got to move. But oh, now bishop back. Excuse me. So I think I can get forward now. So I'm wondering whether to go here. Hit these two. But he has got this move. So what about rook forward first? Or even here first? I'm not concerned about my king here. Because I can run away, I think. Well, I think I can. What's the best way to do this? But this is fairly safe, isn't it? So I think maybe I'm better working on this side. I'm going to push a pawn here. I guess the risk is if he goes here and we take, he might get bishop here and there's an issue. Actually, yeah, that's probably his best move. He has taken though. So now it feels like my king's okay to run out. So he's gone after this one, but I can still go here. But now this isn't a threat for this pawn. He's gone back. Okay, but now I'm going to go for the actual open file. But again, if I step here now, there is a threat here, but I've got, what, 2 extra pawns. I can give 1, even 2 back, and I'm still not worse. I'm going to try and finally get my rook forward now. Maybe go after this. Okay, so there. So if we check, if he ends up here, that might be a nice tactic. And if he takes, we can check. That would be nice. He wants, if he goes here, he loses this pawn. But if he goes here, there's a tactic. And he has, so he's gone there. So I've got to move here, although he can actually take it with the rook. Maybe it doesn't work just offhand then. Just offhand. Do I give that pawn back then? Yeah, if he takes with the bishop, there's a check. If he takes with the rook, there's still actually a check, and I get this pawn anyway, don't I? I think it's worth doing, because he's nearly out of time now. He just needs to see the rook, but I've got the check anyway to win this one. So he's seen it, but I can check and collect here. As long as I don't let his king too far in to stop me here. Okay, then let's go with the rook. The bishop can come back. And he's out of time, but it was a good game. It was a good game. It was a good effort, that. So let's pause and just, so we don't actually start another game. And then we'll go back and see what it was in engine speak. So 40 moves. So they're the move times for both players. So this Black Mustang defense, we've had this a few times recently. So let's see how we actually played it. Yeah, we're just level here. 29 moves in, it's just level. We've been, it looks better right out of the opening, but we've gone wrong a number of times. It's just come back to level. So at least we were never worse. We were never actually badly worse. So 89% against 85 on the accuracy. But it's one of them slightly unusual openings. But this was all right, yeah. So the engine prefers d5 over e5. So d5 for us was correct. Then knight in, we should have just grabbed the pawn. Should have just taken the pawn instead of taking it the other way around. So that was from 2.4 to 1.6. But then taking here was good. Then doing all these trades was good. Nothing's been flagged here. But here, I should have ignored this and developed my knight. And I guess if our opponent takes, it just messes up their pawn structure again. We just get this development done sooner, quicker. Then here, with that move there, just castling, it's already back to just 0.7. I needed to get the knight up quicker. Not an easy position to try and create chances. And our opponent was the one making the active moves. Yeah, I'm still playing good moves here, but here I should have traded the rook and potentially considered the open file. So rook trades first and then knight to d4 was the right move. And then I guess if you take, we've still got the other rook to come across. in the same way. But now suddenly with this, it's back to basically level. And we're just doing some maneuvering here. So here, I should have played a4 instead of taking. a4, a5 is the right reply, and then b4. Okay, that's what we should have done. And I was intending here, like I said, to bring my king here, but it turned out we just weren't in time. I just missed this move, but it was actually an inaccuracy. So our opponent should have played the bishop to e5 instead of going to a5. And then we needed to just play c4 and then the bishop into c3. But this way, we're 1.4 better now. But again, a few moves time it comes back to level. Should have just ignored that there and gone here and attacked the bishop. And I guess you don't have a check because of my bishop. So we should have just played rook to b3 here. And I guess that gives us the option of a3 to just attack the bishop there. And now it's just back to level again, just for this one move, but it's basically level. And his reply should have been rook across here and offer the rook trade. And that's where it's difficult to win. We're a pawn up, but it's opposite coloured bishops, and it's just basically level. So rook in is what we should have done. You see, he's got a blunder with f5. That's his only blunder of the game with f5. So he should have played, where is it? Rook to b2 is what he should have done. And the engine is saying trade or rook across, and it's just level either way. Just level, completely level either way. But he's got a blunder with f5. And now we're suddenly plus 2.7 and we're just better like this for the rest of the game. Of course, I'm aware of the clock as well. I can see my opponent's time ticking down. He spots the tactic here. We get another pawn and then he's just run out of time. But still a decent game though. At our level, that's not a bad game, so well played.